Fortaleza, Brazil, March 2005. A white van pulls up to a small house on Rua 25 de Março. Two men step out in dirty work clothes, boots caked in mud. A curious neighbor approaches. The men smile, explaining they're starting a new business, Grama Synthetica, an artificial turf company. The neighbor is satisfied. After all, the house has been empty for months. But here is what they didn't see. Those bags of soil weren't being unloaded. They were being loaded. The men weren't bringing supplies in. They were hauling something out. Inside was Luis Fernando Ribeiro, a 42-year-old career criminal and former bank security consultant. He knew how banks worked because he used to protect them. Now he's going to rob one. And he just rented this house for one reason. It sits exactly outside, 256 feet from the Central Bank of Brazil in a straight line. Six months earlier, in a São Paulo bar, the dream team was born. Luis sat with an engineer who built subways, an inside man with vault schedules, and a master locksmith. Luis's pitch was simple. Most robberies fail because of time. You have 5 minutes before the cops show up. But what if time wasn't a factor? The target, the Fortaleza branch of the central bank. The obstacle, 4 inches of reinforced steel on the vault door. The solution: don't go through the door, go through the floor. The floor was concrete and rebar, no sensors, no alarms. Just 80 meters of solid earth. The engineer calculated they'd need to remove 1 ton of dirt every single day for 3 months. Luis just nodded. The clock was already ticking. The crew grew to 25 men. Inside the house, they stripped the furniture and pulled up the tiles. The work was a nightmare. The soil was a brutal mix of clay and rock. They dug down 10 feet to create a vertical shaft, then turned northeast. The air was so thin the men could barely breathe. They rigged up PVC pipes and electric fans to push oxygen into the cramped hole. Every night, the white van made trips across the city, dumping tons of dirt in empty lots and construction sites. At 180 feet, they hit a water main. The tunnel turned into a swamp. At 220 feet, they hit high-voltage electrical cables. One wrong move would black out the city and end the mission. But they didn't stop. They were digging for a $70 million retirement. Saturday, August 6th, 11 p.m. The bank is closed. The city is quiet. The crew crawls the 250 feet through the dark. They reach the concrete foundation. The diamond drill bites into the 4-foot-thick floor. By 4 a.m., they punch through. One man climbs up into the vault of the central bank. He's surrounded by thousands of boxes filled with 50 and 100 real notes. For the next 48 hours, they formed a human conveyor belt. Bag after bag, each weighing 25 pounds, passed through the floor, through the 256-foot tunnel, and into the house. By Monday morning, they had moved 164 million reais. The vault was a graveyard of empty boxes. Monday, 9 a.m. A bank manager enters the vault and freezes. The money is gone. No alarms were triggered. No doors were broken. The police followed the hole in the floor and emerged 250 feet away in an abandoned landscaping house. The heist was perfect, but the crew wasn't. 3 weeks later, a man walks into a car dealership in Fortaleza. He buys a brand new Honda Civic with $18,000 in cash. Crisp, sequential 100 real notes. The salesman calls the feds. That one mistake leads to a wave of arrests. The equal share promise evaporated as members began trading names for shorter sentences. The blood money curse. But the police weren't the only ones hunting the crew. In the criminal underworld, $70 million is a siren song for sharks. This is where the story turns from a heist into a horror movie. The heist's mastermind, Luis Fernando, was allegedly kidnapped by corrupt officers before his official arrest, forced to pay a fortune for his life. Others weren't so lucky. A key member named Fernandinho was kidnapped and found dead on a lonely road, even after his family paid a $1.5 million ransom. Over the next 2 years, at least 6 people connected to the heist were murdered or kidnapped. The money they dug so hard for became a blood money curse. In the end, the earth they dug through was safer than the world above. The Fortaleza heist didn't just drain a vault, it changed the world's financial security forever. The bank was violated in a way no one thought possible, a silent invasion from below. Today, the tunnel is filled with tons of solid concrete, but its legacy remains. Modern high-security vaults are no longer just built with thick walls. They are built on floating foundations. Engineers now bury seismic sensors deep in the soil to detect the tiny vibrations of a shovel months before a thief gets close. Luis and his 25 men forced the world's banks to start listening to the ground. Luis Fernando was eventually captured in Paraguay and sentenced to 15 years. But here is the mystery. Of the $70 million stolen, police only recovered about $8 million. 13 members went to prison, but 12 men vanished. They were never caught, never identified, and they walked away with roughly $50 million. Somewhere out there, 12 landscapers are living in total luxury, proving that you can dig your way to a fortune, as long as you're the one who knows when to disappear.